Hi, Vaughn again. Wanted to talk about this issue of menopause that all women go through, and we want to talk about some of the symptoms related to it and why some of these symptoms are occurring. I learned a long time ago that ancient cultures, and especially it was referring to the Chinese culture, but they didn't even have a word in their language for the symptoms related to menopause. It was something that happened normally as part of life, but all the symptoms related to it they didn't have. And it just made sense to me that there's something different in America that's causing all of these issues related to menopause, all these symptoms. Now, of course, all women are going to go through the change. There's going to be a time when you don't give birth anymore and you don't have children anymore. Now, I believe that doesn't happen, that you can have healthy children up until you actually go through that change. And, you know, a lot of times we're fearful of having children over the age of 40, but really it just depends on a woman's health, not necessarily their age. But related to menopause specifically, the symptoms are from this imbalance between estrogen and progesterone. So progesterone is progestation. So that is needed for fertility if we're going to have a child. And then post-menopause, we don't produce as much progesterone anymore because, well, we're not going to have children. And estrogen and progesterone balance each other. So as long as the body's producing progesterone, it keeps estrogen in check. As soon as we go through menopause and we have high levels of estrogen, and so that's the real cause of symptoms related to menopause, is high estrogen levels, all of a sudden the progesterone's not balancing it anymore, and this is where we get the symptoms. This is where we get the hot flashes and the night sweats. I talked about in another video related to women's hormones the importance of the liver related to hormones, and again this estrogen dominance. The body's trying to remove synthetic estrogens out of the liver, which can cause night sweats. A common sign of liver congestion is the body sweating, going into sweats, especially at night. So it's a combination of this liver issue and the high estrogen levels. Now, how do we get high estrogen levels? Hormones in the meat and dairy, pesticides, herbicides, plastics, birth control pills are incredibly dangerous because of the estrogens in them. And there's other things as well. Soy would be a thing that is high in estrogen as well. And all of these chemicals and these drugs and some of these foods even that we're eating and putting in our body is causing this estrogen dominance. And then again, as we go through menopause, we don't produce progesterone, and these symptoms appear of the body trying to figure out how to get rid of all this excessive amount of estrogen. So if you're having the hot flashes and the night sweats, there's lots of things you can do. One thing you can do is you can take a natural progesterone type of cream, a wild yam-based cream. Now, this is kind of interesting that we do this. We really only do it to help with the symptoms. You don't need the extra progesterone because you're not going to have a child, but what it'll do is it'll again bring that estrogen back in balance so you're not suffering from all those symptoms as your body tries to release all this excess estrogen out of your system. But really the best thing we can do is we can work on our livers. And any woman who is having fertility issues or issues with their cycle or struggling through pregnancy or menopause, liver. So many times. So many of the things we do related to hormones are putting things in the bloodstream to make us feel better. We're using a lot of hormone replacement therapy and a lot of different chemicals and drugs to try to balance our hormones, but it's not a long-term fix or solution. It's just putting some chemical in the body to balance us momentarily, but a deeper issue exists. And again, it's this issue of estrogen, progesterone imbalance, and the liver being congested. So hopefully that shed some light on maybe some of your symptoms related to menopause. Now, of course, you want some solutions to that, and we'll talk about different products and things you can do, but there are plenty of herbs that act as phytoestrogens, natural plant-based estrogens, that'll help balance that effect. Some things like black cohosh you might have heard of. I mentioned the wild yam found in progesterone or even a progesterone cream. And there are plenty of good herbal products out there to help you with that. But also, again, work on your liver and eat a liver-friendly diet. Don't eat heavy foods. Don't eat lots of dairy and ice cream and sugars and even too many grains because they can be hard on the liver. Eat lots of greens and beets and lemons and lots of fruits and vegetables. Will take a lot of stress off your liver. And of course, there's great herbs for the liver as well. So hopefully those are some ideas to help you get through the change, menopause, more easily, and doing it the natural way that God intended and not having to rely on man-made synthetic chemicals or drugs.